Hello viewers, Mezcal here, welcome to the live stream. This is wood filament. Now I tried the wood filament on this little printer over here, but even with the temperature high enough for it to extrude quite nicely, it just sat here, the cog was spinning around, the cog was just burring up and basically just slipping. It does feel different, this material, so it wasn't grabbing like it normally would. I guess it's a case of there's not enough spring tension. If you look at the spring, the spring on here has more tension than the light looking spring on that one over there. So that was a fail. This little Malian M200 is quite a good little printer actually. I printed a part on this. You can see it down in down there. Ow! Down there, that red piece, and that red piece basically becomes a washer or a spacer that stops movement on this axis. So really, really a good improvement, because without that, there was quite a bit of wobble. Even with everything as tight as it could be, there was still wobble when you grabbed the top of it and just reefed it back and forwards. You could see it wobbling, and that was evident in the print. So doing a couple of these little test robots, really the overhang issues become quite evident. Today I've spent a bit of time printing out useful things like hooks. I'm a fan of 3D printers making useful things. So here's some filament sample. These samples beautiful, make beautiful prints. The stuff runs at about 235. T-glaze, Orion, Tallman. I'm thinking of buying some of that. It really was very nice. So yeah, I've made a bunch of hooks. That's the PLA one that was printed on TL4076. That was the T-glaze that was printed on the M200. Definitely a nice finish, and slowing down the print speed when it come up to do this curve made the world of difference. Basically at about this point here I dialed it down to 0.8, and while I got up to about this point here I dialed it down to just under half speed, and that made a big difference on how smooth that was and how much, I guess you'd call, baggy wrinkles you'd get. If you look at that, get the light on it right, it's hard to catch the light, especially with the quality of the stream, but yeah, some crappy looking wrinkles, and that was done fairly slow speed. So yeah, I was playing around with a number of other samples today. I've got some flexible ones, but they won't work at all in this style of printer because it pushes your filament from here, and the print head is down here. When you've got flexible filament, the expansion inside this tube is enough that it's just unusable to push flexible filament. You need your extruder pushing right on top of your hot head to use these types of flexible filaments. So the next thing to play with is this wax material. It's quite nice, the smell of this timber printing. It actually smells like a wood shop. Alright, so let's get this this wax one out. The idea of the wax one is I can do lost wax casting. Now your print temperature is a lot lower, so I'm going to have to adjust the code. Oh, it's quite flexible as well. That may not print well on this machine because it's got that flexible sort of feel like that other stuff did. So this might be a waste of money. Oh yeah. Oh, it's like cooked spaghetti. I don't know if I'll be able to print that at all. It'll just bunch up in the machine. But we'll give it a go. It's nice and tacky, so at least the cog will catch it. Hang on to this stuff, heat it up in the oven, get it nice and dry, and then you can put your filaments back into bags to keep it dry. Wet filament, big problem. Can't see this going well. This stuff is way more flexible than the flexible filament. But you've got to try, don't you? Doesn't even really fit in the tube. Now this is going to be a nightmare. I'm trying to push it down. Can you see that? You're in shot? No. I'm trying to push it down that feed tube there, and it's basically jamming up already. So it is not going to push. Well, that's a shame. That stuff should come with a warning. Won't work on Bowden tube style filament, extruder, sorry. Right, I better bag that up and put it in back in the silica. Keep it nice and dry for whoever ends up with this. There's that conductive PLA I was trying earlier. I was hoping to have a bit of fun with this, but since it snaps like spaghetti, now I wanted to print a holder for the phone so that I can screw it onto the tripod. Currently it's smashed on there with some blue tack and a bit of an angle bracket. But it'd be nice to have something useful made. And again, making useful things on your printer makes your printer more useful. Now what have I got? I've got to put that PLA back on. This stuff's pretty bad if it's damp, so I've actually been bagging it. Hang on, that's the wax. Where's the other one? So I'm actually keeping it in a bag while it's spooling out, so that only the end of it is getting damp. So how that works is there's a couple of holes in this bag here, and just line the holes up, put your rod through, It still feeds nicely. I've switched from using slicer to using curer. A version of curer was on the chip that came with the M200, and I figured I'll give that a go because it seemed a lot more intuitive. Maybe that's because it had little, every time I'd mouse over a setting, it would come up and tell me what that setting was, rather than being completely in the dark and just wondering what effects, you know, changing the settings would do. At least Cura will tell me this setting will affect blah. So it's really, yeah, really nice to have that. Okay, so I want that to feed out from the top bag. Put that on there. Now, I had a little twist and tie around that. Keep that bunched up. Where did that go? There it is. Found that when I'm setting the feeding this through, it really pays to just unscrew that fitting there, because it sticks even if you cut it on an angle. There's a catching point in there that makes it hard to feed through that, so I just take that off each time, set it to there. So that's hanging out, and push my tube over that, click it in. She's up to temperature, so I can just manually feed. Not going to feed well with a knot in there, is it? Okay. Purge the nozzle, push some of this through until white comes out. We're mixing a bit so it's going sort of grey and carrying on. It's good. You know it's clearing the nozzle. Really give it a good flush. Still coming out a bit grey. Look at that. Have we got any people watching? Poor connection. One thumb up, nobody watching. Oh, you can do it a catch up. I'm going to keep making this content. It's very easy to do. I'm getting some interest. Still coming out a bit tainted with the black. That carbon stuff might take a bit to clear. It looks alright. Alright, let's cancel that. Sometimes it forgets that you've told it to cancel and it says it's still printing. Just unplugged it. Print from SD. Now I've got this, apparently there's a tripod clamp. Let's see how that comes out. It's going to print on top of that black smudge there, but that is smooth, so I'll just give it a quick scratch off. Okay. .225, that's a bit hot for this PLA. This PLA seems to run nice at 205. So I should probably kill that print. Just going to go over to the computer here, dial down the numbers on the temperature, and flash the card again. Changing to 205 temperature. Save G code. Overwrite the file, yes. Okay, so now the G code on this has the file 205 degrees. It's got to do a cool down. Print. It's 20 degrees hotter than it should be. Bit of crap on there. Where's my paper? I've been getting a bit of brown stuff from burnt PLA on the nozzle. I've read that when it's hot, it's a good idea to wipe the nozzle clean. That way any PLA that's on there that's too hot and will go, sort of decompose and turn brown won't end up on the print. I actually had a hook. There was a brown mark along that line there, and when I tested it and tried to pull it off the board, it just snapped at the brown line. So that will give you weakness. Just heated it up with a blowtorch and squished the two bits together. Seems to be holding alright. We'll use it as a hook, but yeah. Okay. What is gonna happen now? The next thing I think I'll print is a new tube, a new feed mechanism. This thing here, if you watch, you'll actually see this flexing back and forwards. And so every time it pushes, this bends. It is a metal bracket. I guess over time it will break. But yeah, it'd be preferable not to have any flexing at that point there. The sound of two printers running is like, oh, it feels like I'm in a hospital or something. It's full on. Gone from none to two in a matter of weeks. It's awesome. So you can even stain this wood filament. Oops, she's a bit rocky there. What can I stick under it to stop it rocking back and forwards? But yeah, I'll certainly be buying more of this this tea glass. What's the name of it? I used up all the red and I used up all the blue. So I had 5 metres of each. Tea glass. Talman. There is an Aussie seller selling that stuff, so you don't have to pay shipping. Here's a crazy idea. Has anyone tried line trimmer? Looks like the right kind of diameter, but when heated it did that, so I don't know if that would be a safe thing to try. Might clog the machine up. Has anyone tried it? Let me know. Well, I've got to say I'm really disappointed about the wax filament not being able to be used in this machine, or either of these machines, because yeah, that was something that I was really keen to get into, doing some lost wax casting. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. Don't want to buy another machine just so I can print with the stuff. This print's looking a bit strange. It looks like it's got some bridging going on there that's all saggy. Probably should have put it at 100% rather than 95%. Made it solid. I will let it go, see what it does. It's been a lot of fun learning how to use these machines and learning the tricks to make things print cleaner. Certainly slowing down your print and lowering your temperature helped with overhangs on the curves on doing these hooks. It's a beautiful what do you call it? Sapphire blue colour. Well, I'm going to stop this live feed now. It was all about running the wax filament. Certainly the wood filament is working well. So yeah, I'll do a few more things with the wood filament. Want to have a go at seeing how it behaves. You know, if it behaves a lot like wood, give it some sort of grain type. If it you know, if it did the printing in a way that emulated wood grain, and that would be really cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, click the subscribe button. Lots of different things on my channel, anywhere from you know, playing with fire to 3D printing and random things that are happening in life. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.